Okay.
So, hi everybody, welcome to our weekly team Zoom. We've got Hollie Clark talking tonight about the Clear Future range, so that'll be great. And then Vic McHale, I'm not actually too sure. Vic, what is it that you're talking about tonight? Sorry.
How to do a one-to-one by Jerry Rosenthal.
Perfect, brilliant. So I think we're going to start with Hollie. So over to you, Hollie, if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Thanks, Hayley. My name's Hollie. I am an independent consultant with Argon. I'm going to be doing some training this evening on the Clear Future range. So I'm just going to share my screen, which I've just practiced on, and hopefully it's going to work. Oh no, I can't find what I'm looking for. Might be on the desktop. One moment. Right, just let me know when you can see it. It's just loading. So, share screen, Hayley, or? Right. I don't know, it's not coming up now. Just going to try it again. If it doesn't work, then I'll just start the training anyway.
Okie dokie.
It worked a minute ago.
It's just sod's law, isn't it?
I know. But while that's loading, because it's been really slow, the key features, key facts for the Clear Future range is for all types of skin, but the main purpose of the actual range is for acne-prone skin and also blemished skin, and the guideline is to use it for 12 years and up, so it wouldn't be recommended for anybody obviously under the age of 12. Hopefully this will come up now. Right, I'll just keep clicking away while that loads. So the first one we're going to talk about is the Deep Pore Blemish Cleanser. The key facts for the cleanser are it removes excess oil, also cleanses through dirt and removes dead skin cells. With doing this, it doesn't strip the skin, so it's coming out. Whilst removing the dirt, it wouldn't strip the skin of its natural moisture. It also minimises pores and creates more of an even skin tone as well. So it's good for that. The main ingredients for the cleanser, and throughout the actual product range as well, contains salicylic acid, which helps exfoliate the skin, and it also contains white willow bark, which is a natural exfoliant on the skin with the product as well. Contains sage leaf extract, which can condition the skin. Oh, here we go. And also calendula flower and witch hazel, which soothes the skin. Because you find with blemished and acne prone skin, it's quite red and raised. So with the witch hazel, that will just soothe that redness. Another ingredient is alpha-glucan that helps mattify and moisturises the skin. I have a client at the moment that's actually using this product, and I've just been sort of checking in with her within the week, just to get her, to see how she's getting on with the product. And she did say it's quite drying to start with, so I would recommend that anybody that is using the cleanser, just to pre-warn them that it can be quite drying to start with, just when the skin's getting used to the actual product. But not to worry, because as you use it over the next few days, your skin will adjust and it will be fine. So the guided usage for this product, you would use it sometimes 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 times in a day. But I would say only use it once a day, just to start with, just so your skin can adjust to it, because somebody that has acne-prone skin is quite oily. So for when their skin gets quite dry all of a sudden, they can panic and think that something's gone wrong. So just obviously explain to them that that is quite normal, and it's just your skin adjusting to the product itself. So how to use it would be morning and evening. So you would just obviously use it more times as your skin adjusts. You'd use it on a damp face and also a pea-sized amount, which will then gently foam on the skin. Also, you'd also concentrate on the oily areas, so around the nose, or wherever they find is their most sort of congested area. That's when you would use this product the most. And also, as you use the product sort of 2 to 3 times a day, if your skin's happy with that, just bear in mind that the skin can then go a bit dry, so then just reduce it back down to 1 to 2 times a day if needed. But just obviously keep that in mind with your client, that that's what could happen, because it's quite a scary product to use for somebody that's never used it before. So that's my obviously advice that I would use. So I'm just going to see if I can go down to the blemish pads, just so I can show you. I don't know if you can still see this. I don't know what's saying that. I'll just keep talking because I'm not sure what's going on there. So the next one would be the exfoliant blemish pads. These wipe away the surface bacteria. You also exfoliate the skin, and you would use this after your cleanser. So the pads come ready made as well, so you don't have to worry about mixing the solution together like the Genius pads do. I would just use this, it's ready made. And again, you would use this, build it up slowly, so use it once a day, and then slowly build it up if you need to. But again, with these products, with the blemish pads, you sometimes probably only need to use it once, maybe twice or a few times a week, but not every day. So it's just keeping in mind of how your skin's reacting to the products, and it's not over drying at the same time. I think that was the blemish pad. The next one I've gone to is the Soothing Overnight Mask. This helps repair and balance skin. It's lightweight and it's not heavy either. It calms, soothes and hydrates the skin, and it also improves the skin tone and complexion, and it's a non-greasy formula as well. This also prevents impurities from settling and clogging the pores. And the main ingredients for this mask is alpha-glucan, which helps mattify and moisturise the skin. You'll also find sea buckthorn oil, which is a natural source of omega-9, 6 and 3, and it also contains 7 fatty acids, which maintains the skin's barrier function as well. That's another key fact with the overnight mask, and you'll find that in the moisturiser as well, which we'll talk about in a moment. You would apply this to the face, wait till it dries, and then you can go to bed, so you can have it on overnight and then wake up in the morning and just wash it off and then obviously use your cleanser again. And you can use this product 2 to 3 times a week, or however many times you want to use it. The next one is the intensive blemish calming lotion. I've also got another client that's using this at the moment. This targets blemished areas. It's also a fast-acting formula and penetrates the pores and dries up any of the blemishes. So again, just make sure that your client knows that it is quite a drying product, but it is actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. So don't overuse it. Just be a bit responsible with it and know when and when not to use it. This also use it once up to 3 times a day, bearing in mind how your skin's reacting to the products. And obviously you can just increase it with however your skin is dealing with the products at the time. And the last one is the mattifying blemish lotion. This is the moisturiser of the range. It's lightweight, non-greasy, also adds moisture without shine, and also absorbs the oil on the skin. It's soothing, prevents dryness, and contains the sea blackthorn, omega 9, 6 and 3, and also the 7 fatty acids, which maintains the skin's barrier function. So that's all 5 of the products in that range. Sorry that my presentation didn't work, but I do have the slides and they are found on the store, so if you want more information, then I can either send them to you or you can have a look on the store because it's all on there. So yeah, that's everything.
Perfect. Thank you, Holly. That was great for you. I've got quite a lot of people that have been trying. I've not got my own Clear Future. I've been borrowing Danny's, yeah, so it keeps going out to different people, and I really need to get it back to her. I have got some samples that I've ordered so I can give out to people, but most people really love it, so it's gone down really well.
Yeah, they do. Like I said, I've got 2 clients that are using it at the moment, and I've asked them to do before and after photos as well for me. So once I get them back, I'm also going to give them a couple of weeks to see how they get on. But so far, so good. They are enjoying it. But I would just say, whoever clients that are using it, just keep checking up on them, because you don't want them to use the product, find that it's really drying over the first couple of days and panic, and then stop using it because they think that they're having a reaction or something, but it is normal. It's just reassuring them that it is a strong product, and you do need to just be a bit responsible with it and not go mad and use all of the product range all at once, because your skin will sort of freak out in a way. So it's just gradually getting your skin used to using the product, and you'll get a faster and better results that way as well.
Bro, perfect. Thank you. Are you ready, Vic?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, over to you.
Hi, so my name's Victoria McHale. I'm an Executive District Manager with the Arbonne, and I'm going to talk to you tonight about doing a one-to-one. This is based on some training that was done by Jerry Rosenthal. I hope I said that right. So his training wasn't about how to teach people to do the presentation. He said to follow whatever your upline's teaching you. This is all about how to turn your one-to-one into something really powerful, and it's all about making a connection with people on a really emotional level. And he said that he built his business all on one-to-ones, but initially he wasn't getting the results that he wanted, so he started to look at how he could connect with people on an emotional level, and with these steps that I'm going to go through, it changes the way that they look at your business once you do the presentation, and they see it with a different set of eyes. And using these techniques, he took his business to a different level, but he also taught people in his team how to do the same. So if you listen to the SoundCloud, you just get somebody up and he does this with a role play. So I'm going to do this without the role play, but you can imagine how it could go. So he says one of the key things is the following questions I'm going to go through, you need to ask them in the order that I say them, so you don't lose momentum, and also so you're asking them in context. He says to do these before the presentation. So he used to go to a presentation and say, hi, thanks for coming to meeting me today for coffee. Really appreciate you giving up your time. Lovely to see you. You might not think this business for you, or you might decide that it is for you, and then boom, just go into the presentation. And doing it that way, and which, you know, looking back, that's what I do, you're not connecting with that person on an emotional level. So he said before you do the presentation, he says to ask these 4 questions. So the first one, if you've got a pen and paper ready, he starts with saying, so let's have some fun. Visualize yourself in 5 years. Time and money are no longer an issue. Describe to me what this would look like. So the particular lady that he does the one-to-one role play with, she talks about how her children will be at college, so therefore she won't have to worry about being how to pay for them to be at college, and she'll have more time to go traveling, etc., etc. So, you know, you'll get different answers from different people. Make sure you're listening, because you're going to need to come back to that. And he says by getting them to become emotional, then this emotion creates action. He says you might find some people are really easy and just come out with where they see themselves and what their dreams are, but some people might struggle with this. So he said, in your mind, count to 8 seconds. So once you've asked the question, pause, count to 8 seconds. And if they haven't answered, then start to ask them some questions to help them out. So you might say something like, oh, where would you like to be living? Are there any causes or charities that you'd like to donate to? And that will get people to start talking that talk about their dreams. And then at the end of that, then you go, oh, that sounds amazing. You've got really great dreams. And then this is where your question number 2 comes in. He said, if you carry on doing what you're doing, how long will it take you to create that lifestyle that you've just described to me? And he says you get answers like never, forever, or not in this lifetime. And then you'll see people's emotions change. Their body language might change along with that. And he said, question number 3, the tone is really important when you ask it. So you say, so I said to you, how long will it be to create these dreams? And you've said never, or whatever they've answered to you. So be honest with me. How does that really make you feel? So it sounds quite harsh. And he's saying, oh, you know, might seem really harsh question to ask people, but you've got to create some pain so people will change. So you want people to really visualize how will that feel. And he said he's had a couple of people cry. So he says it's not about going out there trying to get people to cry, but it's getting people thinking about their dreams, and if they carry on the way they're going to do what they're doing now, will they get what their dreams are? So he says now you know what their dreams are, you're in a position to tailor your business to them so that they can think about how they can change their life. So then this is question number 4. He says, so let me ask you this. If you want the lifestyle that you've described and you've realised that doing what you are doing won't let you achieve that, then either you need to give up your dreams or find a way to make that happen. What would you choose? Okay. So if they answer that they're willing to just give up those dreams they just described to you, then from this point you can just tailor it towards them becoming a client, because they're not going to be the sort of people that are going to build an Arbonne business if they're just willing to give up their dreams just like that before they've even started. So you probably just want to tailor at this point for them using the products and becoming a client. If they say they want to find something that's going to help them to become their to get those dreams that they've talked about, then you come back with, well, today I'm going to show you a business vehicle that can be that change for you and your family. You can start today from home, part-time at first, and work around your current schedule that can help you achieve your dreams faster than the path that you're currently on. If I was able to truly show you a way to do that, how excited would you be? So in the role play, the lady was like, oh, I'd be really happy, I'd be really excited. So he replies, then let me show you this amazing vehicle called Arbonne that can be the answer to your dreams. And it's at this point that you do the presentation. So he talks about how if you were visualizing this this one-to-one or this role play, then you'll see people's emotion change. And at this point, when you do the presentation to you, you've connected with them on an emotional level, and then now looking at this presentation that you're going to do with through eyes of hope. So this is going to be the answer to them and to enable them to get their dreams. It also shows them that you care about what they want, and you now know what motivates them. So it could be that if you hadn't asked them these things, you could have started waffling on about cars, Mercedes, trips to Vegas, all of these things that they're probably not even bothered about. So you need to find out so you can tailor it towards them. Maybe they're more interested in making money that they can give to charity. So by asking these questions beforehand, you can tailor it to them. So at this point, now you've asked those questions, you can go through the presentation. And he said to follow the presentation that your uplines taught you. But he said, if there's one thing, make sure you put the compensation slide last. And that's to allow you to do the transition to the close. He says, make sure you keep the presentation to a maximum of 20 minutes. And then after the last slide, which is the compensation slide, he says he's got another question. He said, you're going to be working for the next 3 to 5 years, aren't you? And they will probably answer yes, but more like the next 25. And then he goes on to say, so what are the odds that your job will pay you £10,000 a month in the next 3 to 5 years? And they'd say, never. And then you say, well, that's exactly the reason that you need to consider joining me in this business, because R1's going to give you something your job can't, and that's a chance to come into the business with no prior experience or skills and give you a chance to make that kind of money. So even if you fall short and you only achieve half or maybe a quarter of that £10,000 a month, then you're still working from home, you're still there for your children, you could be driving your brand new Mercedes, designing your own schedule and having total control and freedom over your life. That kind of lifestyle most of us have dreamed of having, don't you agree? So it gets people excited, it gets people dreaming. So most people, if you'd have just shown them the money slide, then they just think, oh, I could never get that much money. So it's about telling them, it's about a chance, that everybody's got that chance to achieve it. So he said, break it down into the chance for them to try. Their own job is never going to let them have that chance. It won't be able to give them that opportunity. So therefore, they may as well try for that chance that their job couldn't give them. So he then says there's 4 very important questions, and these are what you call your closing questions. And you must remember that the closing point is really important, but you also need to understand what the close is about. So don't think that the close starts at the end. From the moment you start talking, you're doing the close, okay? So every time you ask a question, that's closing. So first question out of 4, and if I'm going really fast and you can't write all of these down, because it took me ages to write them down, I am in the process of writing this as a script, so I will be sending this out. So question number 1, this is your closing questions. So did everything I share with you today make sense? That's your first question, and you'd hope that their answer is yes, because then you've done your job right. And then number 2, he said, can you see the enormous need for the products and the education that Arbonne is providing to families? And if their answer is yes, you can always go back to this. If they give you any hassle further down the line, you can always go back and say, you said you saw that there was a need for this product. If they come up with some kind of barrier, then they've already said to you that there's a need for this. And then question 3, did I answer most of your questions? So it's quite all right for them to still have questions. Then question 4, he said, so based on what you've seen today, does this look like something you could see yourself doing if you have proper coaching, training support? So this last bit is what he says is really important. So it's by saying if you've got the right support and coaching. So people might be like, oh, I don't think I can do it. But you adding that onto the end, saying providing the support and the coaching will help people think, well, yeah, I can do that. I can do it. So if they say yes, people are sometimes panic. But basically at this point, there's 3 outcomes. They can either say yes, no, or maybe. So I'm going to go through now the options and the answers that you can come back with. So I'm going to start with no. So if you've just asked that question, so based on what you've seen today, does this look like something you could do if you had the proper coaching? They say, no, it's not for me, blah, blah, blah. Then you just come back with, I totally respect that. This business isn't for everyone, and I respect your honesty. But let me ask you 2 quick questions before we finish today. Who comes to mind that might be interested in looking at this? I'll start again. Who comes to mind that may be interested in looking at this, and they can make up their own mind just like you have? And he said, if you don't ask that question, you're never going to get any names. If you do, you never know what could happen. They might say, oh, I can't think of anyone, or I'll go away and think about it. And then you can say, oh, well, do you mind, like, if you think of someone, can you get back to me with those names? Or you might just get a name from them. But he said, unless you ask, you're never going to get the name. So you might as well just ask. And then the second question, if it's a no, is most people who might not be interested in the business are interested in trying some of our amazing products. I'd love to offer you the chance to take some home for a few days to try, so you can give me some feedback. What are you interested in, anti-aging or health and wellness? So it's not like saying, do you want to try them? They've got to choose from those 2. So have some products with you that they can take away. And you never know, when they go away and try the products, they're like blown away, they might end up joining the business anyway. So it's about that last bit. So what are you interested in, anti-aging or health and wellness? You haven't said, do you want to try products or not? It's which one are you going to choose? Sorry, I managed to mute myself. Where did I get to? Which bit did I miss? Hear me now. Okay, so I'll start from maybe and hope that you caught the end of that. Okay, so if they answer maybe, then you ask the question, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being no interest at all and 10 being ready to start my business, where are you? And most people will say between a 6 or an 8. So you then ask the question, what would have to happen for you to become a 10? And this is where they'll come out with their real concern. So it might be something like, oh, I'd have to try the products first, or I need to do this, or whatever it is. So you need to come up with an answer. So if they said, I'll have to try the products, then you could say something like, so after you've tried them and loved them, which I know you will, I just know you'll fall in love with them, will you be ready then? Okay, so that's kind of comeback that you need from that. And then with a yes. So if they say yes, this is something that they see themselves doing, then you then go with the assumption that they're interested in joining, unless they at some point give you another reason that they're not. So you can say, fantastic. Is it okay then if I share the next steps in the process with you? And then he talks about when we sign up and you get your Arbonne ID, and he says he shares it as a joke. It's like getting your bond code. So you can use that one or not. But he goes through what the benefits are. So he said the benefits are that you get 35% off, and then anyone that buys through your business, you start getting paid. And then he says, go through what the initial cost is. He does it in dollars. So say £56. He says, make sure you share everything. So I think in America, it was something about you then have tax and shipping on top of that. So ours would be like £56 plus shipping, and then maybe going through any, if they're going to do the 150 points, go through that with them. Because if they turn up and they've got in their head they're spending £56, and when they actually get there, it's £66 or it's £106, then they might think, oh my gosh, she's lied to me. So you don't want to get in that frame from the start. So you want to be open with them right from the start. So you've got to that point, and he says you can ask another question now. You could say, so we can accept credit or debit card. Which one would you like to use? And this will gauge whether they're ready to actually start now. So if they're ready, they will say, oh, I've got this card. Or if they're not ready, then they might give an objection like, oh, I need to go away and speak to my other half, or I haven't got my checkbook on me today, or something like that. Then you know that they're not quite ready. So one or two will be ready, but if you don't ask that question, then you could never get them to sign up there and then. So it's all about that. If you don't ask, then it's not going to happen. So you might as well ask. If you get an objection at this point, then you'll be able to read the person whether it's time to just slow down a bit. But he said if you never catch a fish without a hook in the water. So what he's saying is if you don't ask the question, you're never going to get the answer. So you might as well ask it anyway. You're not going to catch a fish, he says, by just looking at the water. But then he shares his opinions. He says, at times when we're sharing the business, we get a bit excited and we want to share absolutely everything when they've said yes. And this can be a bit overwhelming. It might be too much too soon for some people, and that'll scare people away. So they've said yes to the business, and then you just waffle everything out about flash buys and absolutely everything, and it just scares them off. So it said, hold back a little bit from saying everything. You want your business to duplicate, and this starts from day one. So if they feel that they're being overwhelmed or pressured, then they'll think, I don't want to have to go away and make my friends feel overwhelmed and pressured, and therefore I won't join the business. So whatever you're starting with, they're going to be thinking I'm doing the same. So they want it to be something that feels positive to them. So don't be scared of taking the pressure off and being a bit patient and waiting for them to come round. And then he says one way of doing it is you can send people home with it. He calls it a care package. So basically some samples, and then contact them in 24 to 48 hours to get them launched and do their order. But he says you want to get back into contact with them as soon as possible, and you will get the feel if you've got a person that you can push that little bit further and that little bit quicker. He said send them away with a catalogue if they have. This is if they haven't already signed up there and then. Send them away with a catalogue to go away and think, if money was no object, what products would you love to choose? So it's like a bit of a game that they can go away and look in the catalogue and then say, I'll help you to get them, or most of them, or some of them, in the best way possible. Give them some samples, and then they can go away, and then you can contact them in 24 to 48 hours. He says make sure you teach people not to go away and call everybody they know now they've signed up until you've been through with them how to call people. He says there's nothing worse than ignorance on fire to kill your warm market, because your warm market kind of make up their mind in their first exposure. So if they go away, they've just signed up, they suddenly just blurb everything out before they know how to speak properly, then it can be a bit of a killer. So he says make sure you hold off doing that. And he said, again, too much too soon. But his closing thing is that last question. Does this look like something you could see yourself doing with the proper coaching and support? He says that's the most important question out of all of them. So I hope that was useful for you and wasn't too much of a waffle. But like I said, I will put the questions and things into a script. I've already started it, so I'll finish it this week and send that out via Danny.
Perfect. Thank you very much. It was really, really useful for me, because I need to keep practice on all that kind of thing. So let me stop the training first before I keep going on.